In the last session, we discussed the three relations: rotational kinetic energy 1/2 I omega square. Second relation which we discuss is that tau is equal to I alpha, and third one is L is equal to I omega. Now we consider the moment of inertia of different bodies, but before that we require two theorems, that is a parallel axis theorem and perpendicular axis theorem. So we consider the proof of this theorem also. So first theorem is the parallel axis theorem, or it is also called as the principle of parallel axis. So what is the theorem of parallel axis? We consider here a rigid body of any shape. We consider first discussion and then we consider the statement here. So this is a rigid body of any shape. This rigid body is rotated about an axis passing through any point, say O, and perpendicular to its plane. Moment of inertia of this body about the axis is denoted by letter I. This axis is like this, it is perpendicular to the plane of the figure. So axis passing through the point O and perpendicular to the plane of the figure. So when body rotate about this axis, its moment of inertia is denoted by letter I, O. Now see for the center of mass of this rigid body. So you are familiar with the center of mass, a point at which whole mass of a body can be supposed to be concentrated. That single point is replaced by the whole body. So that point is called as the center of mass. Here we use the letter C for it. Now this rigid body is rotated about an axis passing through the center of mass C and perpendicular to its plane. Then its moment of inertia is suppose IC. So both the axes are perpendicular to the plane of the figure. Both the axes are perpendicular to the plane of the figure means what? That two axes are parallel to each other. So here these two axes are parallel to each other. Let separation between these two parallel axes is say R. M is the mass of this whole body. Then the theorem of parallel axis states that mathematically it is IO is equal to IC plus MR square. So what is the statement of the theorem of parallel axis? The theorem of parallel axis states that the moment of inertia of a rigid body, moment of inertia of a rigid body about an axis passing through any point, about an axis passing through any point and perpendicular to its plane, is equal to the, means IO means what? The moment of inertia of a rigid body about an axis passing through any point and perpendicular to its plane. It is equal to what? The sum of, means it is addition. So it is equal to the sum of. So what is IC? The sum of its moment of inertia about a parallel axis. Moment of inertia about a parallel axis passing through center of mass, passing through center of mass. And what is mr square? It is the product of, and the product of what? The product of the mass of a body and square of the distance between the parallel axes. Square of the distance between parallel axes. See again the statement. IO equal to IC plus mr square. So moment of inertia of a rigid body about an axis passing through any point and perpendicular to its plane, that is IO, is equal to the sum of its moment of inertia about a parallel axis passing through center of mass and perpendicular to its plane. And third term is what? Product of the mass and square of the distance from between the parallel axis. So hence mathematical form of the theorem of parallel axis is IO equal to IC plus mr square. So to prove this theorem, we assume that this rigid body is made up of a large number of elements, small identical elements. Consider one such element whose mass is dm. It is situated at point P. Here we assume that dm is the mass of that small element. Now we join the position of that element to the point C as well as to the point O. And last one is draw the perpendicular from point P on OC produced. It is say D. So what is our assumption? So we assume that this rigid body is made up of large number of small identical elements, each of mass say dm, because it is a small element, hence its mass is also small. So dm is the mass of each element. Consider one such element which is situated at point Pa. One such element is situated at P. Now what is our construction? We draw the segment OP, we draw the segment CP, and third one is what? We draw the perpendicular from point P on OC produced. So we get the two right angle triangles here. We get the two right angle triangles here. For these two right angle triangles, we apply the Pythagoras theorem. So for triangle PCD, by Pythagoras theorem we get CP square is equal to PD square plus CD square. Equation number 1. Similarly, for the another right angle triangle POD, by Pythagoras theorem we get OP square is equal to OD square plus PD square. OD square plus PD square. Now see the diagram. OC is nothing but OC plus CD, because OC and D are the linear points. Hence we replace OD by OC plus CD, and its square is what? A plus B bracket square is A square plus 2AB plus B square. According to that we get here OC square plus 2 times OC into CD plus CD square plus PD square. Now see the equation number 1. What is this CD square plus PD square? It is CP square from equation 1. And therefore OP square is equal to OC square plus 2 times OC into CD plus CP square. Now, distance OC is what? R. So we also put OC is equal to R. So here we get OP square is equal to R square plus 2R into CD plus CP square, equation number say 2. Now we apply the definition of the moment of inertia. So we consider a element of mass dm situated at point P. Now what is the moment of inertia of this element about an axis passing through O? So we apply the definition. Moment of inertia of an element about an axis passing through O is equal to. So what is our definition? The product of the mass and square of the distance from the axis of rotation. So here mass of the element is dm and its square from the axis is what? OP square. Product obeys commutative law. So OP square into dm is the moment of inertia of this element about an axis passing through O. Now body is made up of large number of such identical elements. The question is, what is the moment of inertia of the body? The moment of inertia of a body about an axis passing through O is, it is denoted by symbol IO. So how you obtain the moment of inertia of the whole body? It is equal to the sum of the moment of inertia of all the elements. Means what? It is necessary for us to add the moment of inertia of all the elements to get the moment of inertia of the whole body. Now you are familiar with the two process of addition in case of a mathematics. Integration and the summation. Here your data is uniform, all the elements are identical, and so therefore for the addition we use the method of integration, and hence moment of inertia of that rigid body about an axis passing through is obtained by the integration of moment of inertia of a single particle. So what is the moment of inertia of a single particle? It is OP square into dm. Now what is the value of OP square from equation 1? So we get IO is equal to integration of R square plus 2R CD plus Cp square into dm. So what is the reason of this step? It is from equation number 2. Now apply the rule of the integration. Separate the integrations by addition rule and take the constant quantities outside the integration. Therefore, we get IO is equal to integration of R square into dm plus integration of 2R into CD into dm and plus integration of Cp square into dm. Now, IO is equal to here R square is constant, take integration of dm only. Here 2R is constant, so 2R into integration of CD into dm and plus integration of Cp square into dm. Now we consider the moment of inertia of this element about an axis passing through CA. This is equation number 3. So here integration of dm means total mass of a body. Why? The integration of dm means sum of the masses of all the elements. So if you add the masses of all the elements, then we get the total mass of a body. So that is why integration of dm is the total mass of a body, and for our convenience we use the letter capital M for it. So integration of dm is capital M. Now what is the moment of inertia of an element about an axis passing through center of mass? I can apply the definition. Moment of inertia of the element is equal to what? Product of the mass and square of the distance. So mass is dm and distance is what? It is cp square. So moment of inertia of this element about an axis is what? Mass is dm and square of the distance is what? Cp square. Use the same concept. If from the moment of inertia of a single element we get the moment of inertia about an axis passing through. Similarly here from the moment of inertia of the element about an axis passing through center of mass, we obtain the moment of inertia of the body. So what is the moment of inertia of a body? About an axis through CM. It is denoted by letter IC and it is integration of Cp square into dm. Now see the steps. Equation number, it is suppose 4. So in equation 3, integration of dm is involved. So put integration of Cp square into dm as the IC and integration of dm is equal to m. So equation 3 becomes. So what is your result? IO is equal to R square into capital M plus 2R into integration of CD into dm plus IC. So we change the order. IO is equal to IC plus MR square. Addition obeys commutative law, product also obeys commutative law. Now question is, what is the integration of CD dm? So here we consider again the assumption. C for what? Center of mass of a body means a point at which the whole mass is concentrated. Now, if we consider the term integration of the CDDM, we consider this axis as the axis of rotation and this one is the axis passing through the center of mass perpendicular to the axis of rotation. So point C now lies exactly on the axis of rotation. It is a point mass and so therefore integration of CD into dm is equal to 0. And therefore finally we get IO equal to IC plus. So this is the proof of parallel axis theorem. See the important steps. We consider a rigid body of any shape. That rigid body is rotated about an axis passing through any point and perpendicular to plane is denoted by IO. C is the center of mass of this rigid body. Axis passing through the point C and perpendicular to its plane and then moment of inertia is IC. So these two axes are parallel to each other. Distance between them is R. We assume that this rigid body is made up of large number of small identical elements, each of mass dm. Consider one such element of mass dm situated at point P. Draw the segment OP, CP and third one is draw segment PD perpendicular to OC produced. Apply the Pythagoras theorem for the two right angle triangles, then here replace OD by OC plus CD and expand it and put OC is equal to R. We get equation number 2. Now we apply the moment of inertia of a particle. So moment of inertia of the element or particle about an axis passing through is what? Product of the mass and square of the distance. Mass is dm, square of the distance is OP square. Addition of moment of inertia of all the element gives us the moment of inertia of the whole body. For addition we use the method of integration. So that is why IO is integration of OP square into dm. Similarly, moment of inertia of the element about an axis passing through CM is product of the mass and square of the distance means dm Cp square and it is integration gives us IC. So thus we get IO and IC by definition. Then we put the value of OP square here, separate the integrations, take constant quantities outside the integration. Now integration of dm is the sum of the masses of all the elements. So therefore it is the total mass of the body. Hence it is denoted by letter capital M. This third term is IC. So we get IO equal to M square R square into M plus 2R integration of CD dm plus IC. Change the order in addition as well as in product. And last one is, as the C is the center of mass, moment of integration of the CD into dm is equal to 0, hence we get IO equal to IC plus mr square. Now we consider the next topic, theorem of perpendicular axis theorem. Theorem of perpendicular axis. So what is the situation? So here we consider the three axes which are perpendicular to each other like this. Means two of the axes lies in the plane of the figure and third axis is perpendicular to the plane of the figure. So as the three axes are perpendicular to each other, then what is the theorem of the perpendicular axis? So we consider here again the situation. Consider a plane lamina, a rigid body, two axes in the plane of the figure. So this is suppose x-axis and this is y-axis, x-axis and y-axis. Both axes are perpendicular to each other in the plane of the figure, and this third axis is perpendicular to the plane of the figure. So this one is the x-axis, it is y-axis, and it is z-axis. O for the center. If this rigid body is rotated about x-axis, then its moment of inertia is denoted by Ix. If it is rotated about y-axis, moment of inertia is denoted by Iy. And if it is rotated about z-axis, moment of inertia is denoted by Iz. So what is the statement of the perpendicular axis theorem? The perpendicular axis theorem states that mathematically it is Iz is equal to Ix plus Iy. So how to read this statement? So what is Ix and Iy? The x-axis and y-axis are in the plane of the figure and which are perpendicular to each other, while z-axis is perpendicular to the plane of the figure and it is passing through the point at which x and y axis meet each other. So how to read this statement? Iz is equal to Ix plus Iy. So moment of theorem of perpendicular axis states that the moment of inertia of a plane lamina, then lamina is nothing but the rigid body, about an axis, passing through a point and perpendicular to its plane. Is equal to the, we just did Iz, moment of inertia of the plane lamina about an axis passing through any point and perpendicular to its plane, that is Iz, is equal to what? Sum of its moment of inertia about two mutually perpendicular axes, in the plane of lamina, And one more condition is there. If this z-axis is perpendicular to the plane at the point O at which x and y axis meet. So that is why we say that in the plane of the lamina and which cuts the lamina at a point, at which the two perpendicular axes meet. So this is the statement of the perpendicular axis theorem. So read again. Iz is equal to Ix plus Iy. Moment of inertia of a plane lamina about an axis passing through any point and perpendicular to its plane is equal to what? Sum of its moment of inertia about two mutually perpendicular axes in the plane of the lamina, and which cuts, means that perpendicular axis cut the lamina at which point? At which the two perpendicular axes in the lamina meet. Mathematically it is Iz is equal to Ix plus Iy. So we consider here proof. Now here we assume that body is made up of large number of small identical element, each of mass dm. So dm is what? Mass of each element. You consider that body is made up of large number of small identical elements. Mass of each element is what? dm. Now we consider this one is the element situated at point P. Now what is the distance of the element situated at point P from all the three axes? So for that we draw the perpendicular from point P on x-axis as well as on y-axis. It is a three-dimensional figure, so therefore this angle is 90 degree, this angle is also 90. This point is suppose M and this point is N. Now what is the distance of the point P from z-axis? It is OP. So OP is the distance of the element from z-axis, PM is the distance of the element from x-axis, and Pn is the distance from y-axis. For our convenience we use the symbols for the coordinates. That is the coordinate of the point P is x, y and z. It is a three-dimensional case. So what is the x coordinate of the point? So we know that x coordinate of the point is the distance of the point from y-axis. Y coordinate means distance of the point from x-axis, and this OP is equal to z. So thus we know the distance of the element from all the three axes. That distances are denoted by y, x and z respectively, from x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. Now what is the moment of inertia of the lamina? Before that we take the moment of inertia of the element. Moment of inertia of the element about x-axis is equal to what? To apply our definition, product of the mass and square of the distance. Mass is dm and square of the distance means it is what? Y square. So it is y square into dm. Product of its commutative law. So this is the moment of inertia of the element. Addition of the moment of inertia of all the elements gives us the moment of inertia of the whole lamina about x-axis. And therefore, what is the moment of inertia of the lamina about x-axis? It is denoted by letter Ix. So that Ix is the integration of what? Y square into dm, equation number 1. Similarly, what is the moment of inertia of the element about y-axis? It is the product of the mass and square of the distance, it is x square into dm, because distance of the element from y-axis is ON and ON is equal to x. So again integrate it, we get the moment of inertia of the lamina about y-axis is, it is denoted by letter Iy. So Iy is integration of x square into dm, equation number 2. Similarly, apply the definition of moment of inertia about z axis. So moment of inertia of the element about z axis is what? The distance is z, so its square is dz into dm, and its integration gives us moment of inertia of the lamina about z axis is, it is denoted by letter Iz. So Iz is integration of z square into dm. Now see the figure. This angle is 90 degree. This angle is 90 degree. Angle between x axis and y axis is also 90. So 90, 90, 90. Therefore, this is also 90. So each and every angle is of measure 90 degree. Therefore, this quadrilateral is a rectangle. So its opposite sides are equal. So therefore, OM is equal to x. Apply the Pythagoras theorem for this triangle. Pythagoras theorem for the triangle OPM. So from triangle OPM we get x square plus y square is equal to z square. X square plus y square is equal to what? Z square. Put the value of z square here. So we get Iz is equal to integration of x square plus y square bracket close into dm. Separate the integration here. We get Iz is equal to integration of x square into dm plus integration of y square into dm. What is the integration of x square dm? The integration of x square dm is Iy. And what is the integration of y square dm from equation 1? It is Ix. So from equation 1 and 2 we get this expression. Addition obeys commutative law. So thus we get Iz is equal to Ix plus Iy. So this is the proof of perpendicular axis theorem. Now we consider the moment of inertia of different bodies. So here we discuss the moment of inertia of the bodies like rod, ring, disc, solid sphere, hollow sphere, and solid cylinder and hollow cylinder. So first we consider the rod. So what is the moment of inertia of a rod? So we consider here rod of mass m and length l. Rod of mass is capital M and capital L is the length. So mass of a rod is capital M and capital L for length of a rod. So question is, what is the moment of inertia of this rod about the different axes? The first axis we consider here, axis passing through the center and perpendicular to its plane. So this axis is exactly passing through the center of mass M. So if rod is rotated about this axis, its moment of inertia is denoted by IC. Now here we avoid the proof because proof is not related to our syllabus. So hence we consider here moment of inertia, case number 1, about an axis passing through center of mass and perpendicular to its length. This moment of inertia we denoted by letter IC. So when rod is rotated, that IC is equal to ml square upon 12. So remember this formula. IC is equal to ml square by 12. To be simple but not related to our syllabus. What is the method? We divide this rod into large number of small identical elements. Consider one such a element, apply at a distance x, thickness of that element is say dx. So from the linear density, that is mass per unit length, we find the mass of this element. Then apply our definition, product of the mass and square of the distance is the moment of inertia. Integrate it. That integration gives us IC is equal to ml square by 12. But here we avoid the proof. So IC is equal to ml square by 12. If you compare this formula with mk square, to avoid the confusion between the radius of gyration about different axes, we use the letter kc for radius of gyration. So if you compare these two formulae, we get kc is equal to L by root 12. kc for radius of gyration. Now consider the second axis. We consider here second axis, which is passing through one end of the rod and perpendicular to its length. Its moment of inertia is denoted by I in. So as L is the total length of the rod, what is distance between these two axes? It is L by 2. So now you are familiar with the moment of inertia about an axis passing through the center of mass. This axis passing through one end and perpendicular to its end is parallel to first one. So therefore we apply the parallel axis theorem for case number 2. Case number 2 is moment of inertia of the rod about an axis passing through one end and perpendicular to its length. Moment of inertia is denoted by I and in this case. So apply the parallel axis theorem. What is the parallel axis theorem? So by parallel axis theorem we get I end is equal to IC plus MR square. We use the letter IO for that axis. IO equal to IC plus MR square, but here IO is nothing but I end. Now what is IC? IC is ml square by 12 plus what is R here? The R is nothing but L by 2, distance between the two parallel axes. So L by 2 bracket square. What is the LCM of 12 and 4? It is 12. L square by 4L. So it is ml square plus multiplied by 3. So it is 3 ml square. 3 plus 1, 4 ml square. So 4 ml square by 12. So finally your answer is ml square by 3. So formula for moment of inertia about one of its end is what? ml square by 3. What is its radius of gyration? Its radius of gyration is obtained by comparison. So L square by 3 is the value of k square, and hence k is what? L by root 3. So these are the two cases. One more case we consider here. Suppose the axis passing through midway between the center and one end of the rod. So this point is the midpoint. So therefore this distance is L by 4. Its moment of inertia is denoted by I mid. So follow the same process. Means apply the parallel axis theorem, put the value of IC and calculate it. So here this is L by 4, therefore this is also L by 4L. So what is the third case? We consider the third case about an axis passing through a point midway between center of mass and one end. It is denoted by letter I, mid. Apply the parallel axis theorem. I mid is equal to IC plus MR square. R is L by 4 here. So square of the 4 is 16. What is the LCM of 12 and 16? It is 48. So as LCM is 48, multiplied by 4 and multiplied by 3. So therefore your final answer is 7 ml square by 48. So what is its radius of gyration? Its radius of gyration is root 7 by 48 into L. So these are the three cases of the moment of inertia of a rod. So for board pattern we require the three cases. IC is ml square by 12, I end is ml square by 3 and I mid is 7 ml square by 48. Now our next body is the ring. Moment of inertia of a ring. We consider the moment of inertia of a ring about 4 axes. So we discuss this point in the next session. Moment of inertia of a ring. So one of the axis is passing through the center and perpendicular to its plane. Second axis is about any diameter. Third axis is about the tangent in the plane of the figure. And fourth one is about the tangent perpendicular to the plane of the figure. These are the 4 cases in case of a ring, as well as for the disc there are 4 cases. So we discuss this moment of inertia of a ring and disc in a next session.